Hey youngsters, you're welcome to a beautiful edition of the Youngsters Bible Club. How are you doing today? Hope you are putting to use all you're learning on this platform. Yes, and if you're new today, we welcome you specially. Just do me a favor, click on the notification bell, subscribe, so that whenever we have a new video, you get to know. Today promises to be interesting because we'll have a beautiful topic titled Stand Out. Can you say that? Stand out. And the objectives of today's lessons are: you learn to boldly live out your faith, your Christian faith. Number 2, you learn to stand out for God like a biblical character did. I don't want to tell you his name yet. And lastly, you're going to learn to understand the importance of standing out. Why? What are the benefits of standing out? You're going to learn that as well. Now let's go to our Guess Our Bible character game. Are you ready? He's a young boy who was taken to the temple to serve under Prophet Eli. His mom's name was Hannah. He started hearing from God from a tender age. Who is that? Samuel, of course. I hope you got that. Good job. Our memory verse is taken from 1 Timothy 4 verse 2. 1 Timothy 4 verse 2. It says, "Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example of the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity." So what is it saying? It means that even though you're a child, you're a teenager, don't let anyone undermine you. But you should be an example to other believers in the way you talk, in your behavior, that's your conduct, your character, in the way you show love to others, in your faith. And what is your faith? That you believe in Jesus, where you practice your faith, and in your righteous living, that's purity. That's what our memory verse today is encouraging us to do. Now, what's the meaning of standing out? What does it mean to stand out? To stand out for God means being different in a good way. It means you are living according to God's standards, even when others do not. Alright? So you are different, but it's in a good way. And we are living according to God's standards. It could also mean when you seize every opportunity that God gives you to prove your love and devotion to Him. It means to stand up for what's right, to do what's right, and to prove our faith, our Christian faith. So basically, standing out is when you stand up for what's right, when you do what's right, when you prove your Christian faith, even when it is difficult, even when it is hard, even when others are not doing so. That's what it means to stand out. Now it's story time. So we know we're talking about the young boy Samuel. And how did Samuel come to be? We're told that the mother Hannah waited for many years until she cried to God after being humiliated by the co-wife Peninnah, who had several children. And Hannah prayed to God in the temple. He said, "God, if you will give me a son, I will give him back to you. I promise you, just give me. I'll give him back to you. He will walk in your house. He will be a priest in your house. You need someone to walk in your house, right? Just give me a son. I'll make sure he works for you." And God said, "Wow, that's a good deal. Let's see." And God gave her Samuel. And immediately she stopped breastfeeding Samuel. Samuel grew to a certain age. She took Samuel to the temple and told Eli, "Yes, I made a promise to God, and this is my promise. So the young boy will be living with you, be serving, so he can be a priest, so he can be a tool in God's house." And Eli said, "Wow, that's good. Okay, he will live with me." And Eli had 2 sons also, Hophni and Phinehas. We're told that Samuel was a good boy. But these sons of Eli, they were corrupt young men. They were disobedient. They were not living a good life as children of the priest. And they were priests as well. But they were bullying people that would come to worship there. They were doing all sorts of evil. But Samuel grew up in the same house, but he wasn't influenced badly by this young man. Rather, he was faithful in his duties. He knew why the mother took him there, and he did not deviate from that. He was focused and he served God with all his might. Like we said about standing out, he stood out. He did what was right. He proved his faith of being a child of God. He stood up for what was right in the temple, even though his older brothers were doing otherwise. He said no, he did it the right way. And you know what? God left Eli the priest, the old Eli the priest, left his two sons and decided to speak to Samuel instead. He delivered a very important message to Samuel. Because of what? Because Samuel stood out. Samuel knew the reason why he was there. He served God faithfully, and he became the priest after Eli's death. He took over the priesthood after Eli's death, and he became a prestigious prophet in Israel. Now I'm going to teach you how you can stand out. I know you would love to stand out. Some of us we're already standing out in our classes, in our homes, in our communities, in our schools. So let's look at ways that we can stand out for God as children of God. One, by making choices or decisions that honor God despite what others think or say. Just like Samuel, he made decision to honor God despite Ophni and Phinehas were doing the opposite. He said, no, this is why I'm here. I'm going to do it. So make decisions that honor God. Number two, by not conforming to worldly patterns. You don't live like people of the world. You know, people of the world, they have a way they live, certain way. They can do all sorts of things. They are not accountable to God. But we know that as children of God, that whatever we do, we are going to give account. God is watching. God is interested in what we do in our life. Before you do anything, you think in your heart, what would Jesus do if Jesus were to be in this situation? So you mustn't conform to the worldly patterns, the way the world do their things. No, but you do it to glorify God. Then number three, letting the light of God shine through you. When you are the light in your school, when others are coming to know God because of your behavior, because of your character, because of the way you talk, because of the way you do your things, you are letting the light of God shine through you and making others see God and glorify God. That's how to stand out. Number four, by not giving in to peer pressure. You don't give in to peer pressure. There's pressure everywhere, especially from fellow teenagers or even fellow children. They want you to behave a certain way. They want you to join a certain gang, a certain clique. They want you to dress in a certain way. They want you to use certain slang, certain languages that are not edifying. No, you are not cowing into that. You are not buying that. You are not giving into the pressure of your friends. Rather, you are affirming yourself daily in order to have a healthy self-esteem. Do you understand that? You tell yourself, yes, I'm unique, I'm special. I don't need to be like every other person. God loves me. I'm a child of God. You are affirming yourself daily and you have a healthy self-esteem. And this will help you not to give in to peer pressure from others. Okay, now let's look at the importance of standing out for God. So when you stand out for God, what are the benefits? What do you stand to gain? Number one, you give opportunity to glorify God, opportunity for God's name to be glorified. That's what you do. You create opportunity for God's name to be glorified. Number two, you will enjoy God's blessings and protection. When you are God's own, you are making God proud. Definitely He will protect you. He will bless you. Number three, you have the opportunity to make a difference. Yes, you'll be a blessing in someone's life because you don't know who is watching. You don't know that child, that teenager that you are encouraging. So you'll be able to make a difference in someone's life. You'll be a role model to others and make positive change in your house, in your home, in your class, in your community, in that school where you attend. You'll be able to make positive change as a result of your courageous attitude to stand out and not to join the crowd. Because one with God is what is majority. If you are the only one standing for the truth, you should know that God is standing with you. And when you are with God, you are more than the others. You are majority. Okay, you are not the minority, you are the majority. And lastly, we'll be able to prove our love and devotion to God. Yes, if you say you have a friend, you should be able to prove that. And when you were stranded in school, I helped you. That's test of our friendship. So how does God know that you are devoted to Him? How do you prove your love for God? It's by standing out for Him. When others are cowing in, when others are denying God, and you're saying, no, I'm a child of God. I'm going to preach to my friends. I'm going to share the good news. I'm going to speak the truth when others are lying. I'm going to be a good example to others. So that's what it means. We prove our love and devotion to God. Now, what's this topic teaching us to do? What's our call to action? What does this topic want us to do? It wants us to boldly live out our Christian faith daily, courageously. Don't be shy. Some children are shy, especially in school. When they are singing praises, you can't even clap. They are so shy. They don't want other people to know that they are children of God. No, you should be proud about it. You should be proud of being a child of the Most High God. Let people know. So boldly live your Christian faith. Don't hide. Proudly tell people that I'm a child of God and I'm working towards making heaven. Let people know. Then you must courageously share God's love with others. People cannot meet God, but when they meet you, they should be able to see God through you. The way you talk, the way you behave, the way you encourage people, the way you show love to people, the way you show care. Alright? And lastly, you should be able to listen to God's words and obey His commandment. That's how to stand out. Starting from today, read the Bible, listen attentively to it, and obey the words of God. Alright, we've come to the end of today's lesson. But before we go, let's take our affirmations, youngsters. Say after me. I'm brave and we stand out for God even when it's difficult. I will listen to God's voice and obey Him just like Samuel did. I am a light in the darkness, shining for God's glory. I will not be afraid to be different because God is with me. I set a good example in my words and actions. In summary, youngsters, we've learned today that we must be unique. We must stand out. We must always make God proud of our behavior, of our conduct, of our speech, of the way we show love in faith and in purity. Even when you are the only one standing, remember that Jesus is always standing with you, and one with God is majority. So courageously live out your Christian faith, so that others can join you and the name of God will be glorified. Till I come your way next time on this platform, take good care of yourself to the best of your ability, and always remember that Jesus is counting on you. Bye-bye.